Namaskar. This is Akhilesh Bhargava. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. With nations shutting themselves in order to battle the deadly corona crisis, the continued lockdown that they've imposed is inflicting a huge damage on their national economies. The bigger worry which is emerging for these countries is that with the continued lockdown, a large section of their economies remains closed. Only the essential part is being allowed to function, and because of that, an epidemic of sickness is sweeping across these national economies, which is going to be even more difficult to battle. 184 countries and territories are already afflicted by these virus, and their economies are seen to be shrinking. The giant $22 trillion economy of US, the biggest in the world, is already shrinking at a fast pace, and experts say that it has already entered a recession phase. The IMF also says that the global economy is already into a long-term recession which will take quite some time to get out of it. While the world battles the corona crisis with determination, it is still imperative that we get back to business as soon as possible. The longer the lockdown continues, the bigger will be the damage that it inflicts on national economies, and the more irreversible it will be. Irreversible in terms of number of businesses that close down forever, and also in terms of rampant joblessness resulting in the loss of jobs again almost forever. Because of that, a number of countries are seeking to start reopening their economies. And these are those countries which had been afflicted by the corona crisis at a much earlier stage. That includes countries like China, South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore. And it also includes those countries which had locked down themselves much early in the game and today hope to reap the benefit of it by ensuring that the virus did not spread such that they can now reopen their economies. Which are those countries? Denmark. Denmark imposed the strictest restrictions in Europe in the first week of March itself. And from the coming week, Denmark hopes to start reopening its economy in a very gradual and controlled manner. Austria is the second one. Austria also seeks to reopen its economy from the next week, but it comes with a very strict restriction. Individuals will have to wear masks when they move in public places and also in public transport. Czechoslovakia, the Republic of Czech, also claims to have flattened the curve and hopes to reopen its economy very soon. Iran had been inflicted by the virus in a big way. It continues to reel under it. But despite that, the Iranian parliament last week refused to pass a bill in order to extend the quarantine period. Its president said that businesses need to open up. Too much of damage has been caused. Thus, their parliament said no more quarantine. China has opened itself, and it also claimed that Wuhan has been opened up. As per the official claim, travel in and out of Wuhan has been opened up, restrictions on movements have been pulled down quite a bit, and there are only a few barricaded areas which I suppose are the hotspots of Wuhan. South Korea has also opened itself. Even Italy, which at the moment is reeling under the crisis, Italy seeks to reopen its economy at the soonest pace possible. Its industrial associations are saying that a continued lockdown will prove fatal for many businesses, and thus it is important to restart the economy. An expert rightly points out that opening and closing an economy is not like an on-off switch. It needs to be done in a very planned and correct manner. But then the reality also is that a continued lockdown is going to result in a huge economic catastrophe on many countries. Many companies fear that if they continue to remain closed, they are going to be pushed out of the market, and thus they are seeking a reopening of their economies. What is being seen is that all these countries which are seeking to reopen their economies are doing it in a very gradual and phased manner. They are doing it with a lot of caution, they are doing it slowly and carefully. And they are also aware of the fact that unless the virus is not completely controlled, how will they ensure free and safe movement of individuals who can go to work, and by that the economy can be restarted? We also need to remember that in case any country rushes in and seeks to reopen its economy, much before in a premature manner, the early gains of closure will be lost. We've seen that happen in Japan. Japan seemed to be doing okay, and suddenly yesterday we hear that the Japanese Prime Minister has announced emergency in various parts of the country because the virus has suddenly flared up. Take a case like India. We cannot think of reopening the economy. We are still in that situation where the gains are not yet sure. And if India were to do that, those early gains of closure are certainly going to be lost. Further, in case you need to reopen the economy, the country will need to be prepared to provide income support and also funding support to businesses which are reeling under the crisis. Unless income support is not provided, unless support to business by way of funds is not given, any kind of even a planned reopening is not going to really succeed. We will need to do that with a very proper thought. And according to us, even for reopening an economy, you will need to set up a task force to prepare a blueprint under which the economy can be reopened. According to us, at the moment, the worst is yet to come, and any opening of the economy will have to be done in a very carefully planned manner. Thus, in our opinion, till the sickness does not subside, till the virus does not come in control, any reopening of the economy is ruled out. Because if you were to do that without the virus being in control, the matters will only aggravate such that it will become an uncontrollable situation and defeat the very purpose why one was trying to reopen the economy. Because of that, countries like UK, USA, Spain, France, Italy, Philippines, etc., which are very eager to reopen their economy, are not able to do so because at the moment they are battling with the scourge of the crisis. In this entire decision of reopening the economy, according to us, it is doctors and healthcare specialists who will play a key role. It is they who will decide when can the economy be reopened because they are the persons who will tell us whether the virus and the situation is in control medically or not. And after they decide when will it be reopened, will economists and government policymakers be able to decide in what manner to reopen it, how to reopen the economy. Thus, the first green signal in this regard will certainly have to come from doctors. And what are the parameters that doctors and healthcare specialists will follow in order to come to this decision? The first thing, according to us, is going to be to see whether there is a sharp reduction in the number of cases. If the curve is flattened, if the new cases emerging start falling substantially, that would be a first indicator that the virus is coming in control and persons perhaps can start moving freely. The second parameter will be based on testing. Individuals are going to be tested in two manners. The first one would be, are they carrying the virus? If they are, they would have to be quarantined for sure. And the second parameter in this regard would be, are they carrying antibodies to battle the virus? Those individuals whose bodies have developed the antibodies are going to be given some kind of a license to move about freely because they certainly have become immune to the very virus. Thus, the key issues here are going to be testing, tracing, and treating. Based on that, we will come to know whether the economy, whether the country is ready for reopening or not. And even after that, according to us, social distancing will have to be maintained for some time, even after the economy is opened up. And those areas which are considered to be hotspots are certainly going to be quarantined for a much longer period. The reality is, we all need to reopen the economy. We all need to get back to natural business. We all need to get back to normal business. But as the expert said, reopening the economy and its closing is not an on and off switch. It needs careful planning and a very careful decision making. And we think time is yet to come when the economy will be opened up. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, Well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.